Welcome to the show, all you precocious Python people. It's Travis here with Python Susie, and I've got my co-host with me, Rafi, although he looks a little bit different. Actually, this is our next guest on our New Breeder Perspective. I want everybody to say hello to Geovani Erguera from Gilded Scales, hails from Bakersfield, California. He's weighing in at about 72.5 kilos, maybe. He's got an undefeated record of 0-0 so far, but big things are coming for him. How's it going, Geovani?
It's going good, Travis. Happy to be here.
So thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. I wanted to bring a lot of you new guys on the show to get your initial perspectives and your initial thoughts on the hobby, on everything that goes into it. And we can talk at length about, the typical questions that your neighbors will ask you, like, why are you doing this? You have how many snakes? Like, what's the point? And then we'll move into, more detailed questions that your tax guy would ask you, like, is it a business or a hobby? What's your revenue looking like?
Sure.
What do you intend to do? What's your scale up? How are you going to fund this operation? All those fun things. So to start things off, get right into it. You're from Bakersfield, California.
Yes.
You are Gilded Scales. That is your gangster name.
Right.
And you have been doing this for how long?
Oh, man. Not too long. Let's see. Let's go to when I decided that I was going to try my hand at breeding. It's probably been maybe a year and a half.
Year and a half? Okay.
At most. But it's evolved a few times since then.
So I'm assuming, like all the rest of us, you loved reptiles as a kid, and you probably had them as pets on and off. Is that correct?
No, actually.
No? Okay.
Interestingly, well, I always thought my story was kind of unique. But the more people I talk to, the more I learn that I'm not the only ex person with the phobia.
Oh, really? I love this.
Interestingly, I used to be terrified of snakes as a kid, which was kind of odd. I try to blame it on like Anaconda movie. It was a great show, but I think it traumatized me as a kid. I remember yeah, it's pretty wild. I watched it, and I have a distinct memory of me and my family going on a hike. I must have been maybe 8 years old, and we're following this trail, and then something just slithered past us, and I don't know what it was, but I just I froze in place and just stared at it, and it felt like it was just staring right back at me. It stopped moving. It was focused on me. My family's telling me, Gio, just go around it. Just, you're fine. Come on.
Right.
And I wasn't budging. I was fixed on the snake, and my dad had to shoo it away. And it finally slithered on its way. And from then, I didn't have any interest in snakes as a kid. Yeah.
You know what it was saying? It was saying, you need to breed reptiles. That's what it was saying.
Probably.
You just didn't figure that out till later. So how did you go from being scared of snakes to having, looks like at least a whole rack full?
Oh, man. Well, this is actually my second time that I've been bit by the ball python bug.
Okay.
First time was 5 years ago. So going back 5 years, I started to put a collection together. But let's see, I was getting out of my parents' house, getting married, started having kids. I actually grew up in Ventura, California, Oxnard,
Okay.
more specifically. And so moving out to Bakersfield, and in that process, um, snakes came and went from the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
And so,
Life was priority. We had other things.
right. And so, the first time I handled a snake was I was 20 years old. We were visiting a friend, and he told us he had an adult female ball python, a big girl, and he swore that it was friendly. And so I actually let him pull it out, and he just kind of laid it over my shoulders. And I was expecting, something vicious, like quick movement, aggressive, if you will. And it was the total opposite. It almost felt like it didn't care that it was sitting on my shoulders.
Yeah.
I could have been a tree as far as it was concerned. And so that led to me, I guess, realizing maybe they're not so bad. And then my wife, Sonia, her older sister had snakes growing up, and so Sonia grew up with them around her, and spur of the moment, we walked into a big chain pet store on I think it was a 4th of July sale, and we saw a special, or a fancy ball python,
Hmm.
for sale, and it
That's
turns out
fancy one.
it was just a pastel, but it was really pretty, and we got a deal on it because it had grown larger than the babies, and so they were trying to get rid of it.
Right.
So we got that one, and that was my first snake. No intention of doing any breeding, but I was enjoying some YouTube, and you know, lots of content, reptile content at that time. And like I said, we got rid of our snakes during our building our life together. And then my oldest daughter, Sammy, I was putting her to bed. She's 7 now, so 2 years ago now.
Mhm.
Um, I was putting her to bed and just having a conversation, and I asked, "Hey Sam, what's your favorite animal?" And she said a snake, and I was kind of shocked. I was like, "What, snake? What are you talking about?" I don't know if she recalled that we had some at some point or not, but she said it was a snake, and it's getting to be the holiday season, and so I talked to my wife. Um, should we get her one as a pet?
Right.
And my wife has always been very supportive and just sure, why not? So we actually went on Morph Market for this one, where before I had bought all my snakes off Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, very local. And so I was looking for a very specific snake since it was going to be a pet. The one,
Right.
the
Did you know
one, the
what
one
that
snake.
specific snake was, or was it? Were you just looking for some temperament, or what?
I was looking for a pied
Okay.
because 5 years back, pieds were actually 500, $600. And so I wanted to get her a pied, but I wanted to have 50-50 pattern, look a nice looking pied. And I mentioned, second time that I got bit by the bug, I also wanted to be a female. We'll raise it up and we'll see what happens. And
Yep.
so we got, I think she was 800 grams when she was brought in. And so this was my daughter named her Sienna. And so we brought Sienna in, and then I have a obsessive personality. And so whenever I get into a hobby, I consume it like no other. Just lots of content. And so I was watching videos, and my birthday's in December, so we got my daughter's snake in November. Oh, it's your birthday, and I'm on Morph Market just browsing, no intention of buying anything else, but just looking. And snakes are on
Always North
sale,
Market.
and it's a killer deal. So, so my wife says, "Oh, you should get it for your birthday," and so I did. So I brought in a second snake. I named him Troy, and then from there, we decided to take a trip to a local mom and pop pet shop.
Yeah.
It's called Mischievous Pets here in Delano. And again, my intention was to window shop, just admire them. I was really enjoying looking at all the different snakes, aside from the ball pythons. And my wife fell in love with an ivory that they had at the store, and she had to have it. So we bought a third snake, and so very quickly, I started accumulating aquariums and trying to figure out how best to stack them. And so, yeah, it very quickly, as soon as I had the third one, I ended up making a shift to more of a rack system because
How long ago was this?
this goes back January 2025. So
Okay.
yeah, a year and a half ago. So we had 3, and then I discovered I think I bought a handful more, 2 or 3 more, looking at the specific ads on Morph Market, and then I discovered auctions, and oh man. I remember I saw a very particular. It looked like some breeders were, getting rid of extra animals.
Really started playing.
What is it?
I don't know, but it's something for adults. Here.
I'll go fix it, baby. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Travis. I'll be right back.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Daddy, Damien keeps on hitting me with
Kids are always okay.
All right, come on.
I used to walk.
Let's go fix it. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised if my kids interrupt me at some point. So this is fun. This is one of the challenges that a lot of people have when it comes to getting into a hobby that's really time demanding, especially when you've got smaller kids, is that there's always a pull, always. Kids always come first. And so that can make for some really late nights, some long days, because you got to prioritize the family and family time, and then come down and do your snaky stuff. I say come down. My snake room is downstairs in the basement of this house. That's right. I'm this old weird dude that breeds snakes in his basement, like all the rest of you. But it's a lot of fun. But you make sacrifices in areas that don't affect your family so that you can continue to have fun. And that's what this is all about. I have found myself doing and saying things that I never thought I would ever say because of this hobby.
Oh man.
Quite interesting. All right. So
sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good. So you're at a handful of snakes, maybe 6 or 8. When did you decide that you're gonna? I don't know. Have you decided to be? What kind of breeder have you decided to be here? I'll just ask that question. Are you doing this as a hobby, just to experiment? Do you want to grow it? Do you have any idea yet?
Well, I'll say that I want to intentionally keep it very small and manageable. So I'll say hobby, if you will. It was all funded from my primary job. And so I've kind of accepted kind of the idea of, people spend money on their hobbies. If I was into golfing, I'd probably buy some clubs. Or if I was into cars, I'd probably spend a lot of money on my car. Things of that nature. And so I have no desire for, or I'll say I have no need for it to give me all my money that I put into it back. My goal right now is for it to become self-sufficient. So I buy rats right now. I feed frozen thawed so that it could pay whatever animals I produce. I find good homes for, and then those sales will pay for the rats. Yeah. Maybe upset the uptick on my electricity bill, things like that. So that I think it would be awesome if I could breed, make some cool snakes, and keep some for myself, sell the rest, and have it, one hand pays for the other one, and we're good.
Yeah.
So that's the goal right now.
No, I think that's really smart. If you don't control your overhead controls you. And each snake comes with a monthly bill, right? And while individually they don't really add up to much, but you end up with several racks full really quick.
Sure.
And I've looked at the prices of frozen thawed, and they've gone through the roof. And so I feel for the guys that have larger collections that do nothing but frozen thawed. So that's I give you kudos for that. And that's my perspective personally.
Yeah.
Is I don't want to have a huge collection where I have racks upon racks upon racks of snakes and I'm producing dozens of clutches a year. It doesn't appeal to me. I feel like that takes it from being an enjoyable, adventure to a job. You're cleaning tubs. You've got a legitimate business with legitimate expenses that you got to make those expenses plus some. And so I think that forces you to make business decisions that you wouldn't normally make as a hobby keeper. So
sure.
I looked at it as a $150 ball python costs about as much to keep alive. I say keep alive, to take care of, as a really, really high end, dwarf Burmese python, which is something I'm in.
Sure.
So I decided that I would bite the bullet and try to buy a lower number of snakes that each had a higher dollar value that didn't depreciate over time, so that I could keep them and I could hang on to them, and I could, I could say, hey, yeah, I've had this girl for 15 years and she's given me 8 clutches or whatever. So I like the whole longevity aspect of things. I like history. I like lineages and things like that. So I think that kind of stuff is really, really cool. I mean, not to to detract from the business of ball pythons. I mean, the genetics are a blast and it's a rush, right? There's always a project that you can build on.
Sure.
It's just, you got to find the right type of business model for your mindset. So
right. Absolutely.
It takes some people a long time to figure that out, and that's okay.
Yeah, I think, and this might not, this is my opinion. If more people focused on it as a hobby, I think it would be better for the hobby. And I say that because the concern that so many have with overproduction and things of that nature, I think stems from people have overhead that they need to cover, right?
Yeah.
So now I need to produce, if I don't produce X number of clutches, I don't have enough to sell to offset the cost.
Yeah.
And so then I don't know. I agree. I don't want to have to deal with that kind of stress of, I don't know.
I want to be able to
produce.
I want to be able to take a year off if I have to.
Sure, exactly.
Not produce anything and not feel pressure to get to a production margin or something.
Right.
Because for me, that takes the fun out of it. I have a day job where I have to worry about, those kinds of things. This, I want it to be self-sufficient, like you said. Mm-hmm. It would be nice if it brought in a little bit of money each month. It would be really, really cool for my kids to take it over when they got older, right? Because in this model, I'm not doing a lot of turnover anymore. So that cost drops. And so they'll get handed something that's already had the initial larger investment put into it, and now hopefully they get to reap the benefits. We'll see. I mean, I got into this because of my daughter too. I mean, she saw Blue-Eyed Lucy and she wanted it. And we got a stuffed snake and that didn't work. So we got her another stuffed snake. And I you know what? It's so weird because I've been in reptiles ever since I was a little kid.
Okay.
And I had, hey Todd, what's going on? Thanks for coming to the show. Appreciate it. He's our lone rider tonight. It's a quiet night. I see people watching, Put a comment in there. Don't be chicken. Even if you're a hater, be nice for a minute and say hi. I mean, I was always into reptiles as a kid, and I had all kinds of stuff. And I've seen ball python in and out of my, hobby as I've grown up. You don't count. And I was just never interested in them. I always thought they were boring. And I don't know, for whatever reason, my daughter wanting a snake, I was like, well, we can get a ball python. And my wife was like, I thought you said they were boring. I'm like, yeah, they are boring, but it's like a pet rock, so it'll be great, for her to just get a first experience. It's not a monitor. It's not going to chase her around the room, and try to bite her or anything like that. So,
Sure.
And it's not, fast, so we can lose it, right? We spend more time looking for it than taking care of it. So,
right, yeah.
So I started researching, and I was enamored with all of the industry and all of the technology that went into it. Because the last time I was into reptiles, everybody was keeping them in aquariums, and there was kingsnake.com and Craigslist. There were no connected breeders. There were no Patreons. There was no RGI. There's no
Right.
Husband Pro. And I saw all that stuff, and I saw how much attention was paid to the genetics, and I was hooked. And I was like, this sounds like so much fun. My daughter and I can do it together. But yeah, things evolve, and I'm a business person by heart. So the hobby is a business. So I want to make the business work.
Sure.
Right. So that's just, that's $1 profit over all costs. Right. So I looked at the business model for ball pythons and realized that how I am as a keeper, it's not the greatest fit for me, because I get very stressed when I'm bringing a new snake in. The idea of shipping out hundreds of snakes doesn't appeal to me either. So, and like I said, I like the longevity. I have ball pythons here that, I'm trimming my ball python collection down about 50%. And I'm looking at the list, and I'm like, I don't want to get rid of any of these snakes. I like them all.
Sure.
So I'm already in that position, where I'm adjusting, and I'm already making decisions that I don't want to have to make. So anyway, that's kind of where I came from on this whole thing. And that's been my evolution over the last 2 years and some change. So let's see, we got Todd says his son and he are just about to start a reptile company as well. Looking forward to working it with him. I think that's awesome. I think that's totally awesome. My oldest son, I put him in martial arts with me, and we did martial arts for decades. And I think it meant more to me when he got a black belt, his senior year in high school than it meant to him. So I think doing this kind of stuff is just, with your kids, is just awesome. Holly, what's going on? Thanks for stopping by. Want to check her show out. Not Another Reptile Podcast. Sometimes you talk about reptiles, most of the time. Awesome lady. Thanks for stopping by. So, but back to you. Let's talk about your gangster name, Gilded Scales. How did you come up with it? What was that process like?
Oh man. So that one was actually pretty simple. So I mentioned I got into, ball pythons, and so some of my favorite content had to do around the business aspect of it, and a lot of it spoke to a brand, a way to identify yourself and do it early. Don't wait until you have your first clutch, so that hopefully people know who you are when you do have anything available. And so I started, thinking about what I wanted to call the hobby, and I had several names pop into my head. I seem to enjoy that aspect of trying to get creative and playful with things, and so I had a few that popped into my head, but I was like, no, I don't. Some just didn't fit. One of my favorite ones I came up with that I haven't seen used yet was Hakuna Morfata.
That
That's good, right?
is good. I like that one.
So I was like, oh, that'd be. Anyway, so I didn't use it. I just kind of
All
was
right,
like,
you heard it here first, everybody.
You heard it
Hakuna
here first.
Matata. That's Geo's. Don't take it from him.
And so, Gilded Scales was I like to use AI to brainstorm, and so I said G for Giovanni, S for Sonia. Let's talk, and I wanted something that had a appeal of luxury of something quality special. One of the snakes I first got came from someone called Designer Ball Pythons, and so I like that idea of it. And so I ended up with Gilded Scales, and I chose that because it allowed some flexibility. I wasn't tied to ball pythons, but reptiles in general, and so that's just kind of what I've stuck with. So that's been the name since I started doing it all, but for the year that I've been doing it. But the logo has gone through several evolutions.
Okay.
I keep changing it, and I think my wife's sick of it already because I'll come in with, what do you think? And 3 or 4 new variations of it, and there was a recent video I watched that spoke to make sure it's memorable. Someone's gonna look at it and remember it, and so my current logo, I actually drew a little inspiration from you. I was like,
From
man, I
me
need
for
to
your
put
current logo?
your logo.
Oh, wow.
I thought
I had no idea.
a beautiful
Oops, I didn't
woman.
know this before we brought him on the show. I swear to God, I didn't know.
Well, I like that. The picture that's there is a beautiful woman holding a python,
Yeah.
and I thought maybe I can do something like that. And so my family, we come from a small town in Yucatan, Mexico, and so it's my Mayan ancestry, and so the personage there is Ixchel. She's the Mayan deity for fertility, water, and medicine. And so I kind of was like fertility, Mayan, and I kind of put it together. And so it's there. I like it. We'll see. I think it'll look cool.
No, that's good. Yeah, some people they go through a bunch of iterations. I actually didn't. When I think I got lucky because I iterate on everything in life. If you ask my wife, when I decided I was going to do this as like a business / serious hobby, it just popped into my head, like the logo, the name, everything. Because I like the World War II nostalgia, right? All the warplanes were named after women.
Okay.
So they all, they had the nose art, right? And so you had Bombing Betty and Enola Gay, and and it was just my career has been in nuclear weapons, and so that World War II nostalgia from the Manhattan Project, has kind of been preserved in those programs, and so that kind of art and that kind of Americana is kind of popular, and so that was like a big influence for me. And because that's kind of, I was like, yeah, I want it to be nose art. Like I would take this and stick it on a B-29, right? So that's kind of that's where I came from. Of course, it confused everybody, right? Because they're like, Python, wait a minute, and when I first got on Instagram, I got some DMs. Hey, cool logo. Is that what you look like? It's like, no, dude. It's not. So
I'll say it confused me at first as well. I was like, oh, who's that?
Yeah, it does. It confuses everybody. And then I just tell them, I say, yeah, I'm a man named Sue. Oh,
I wish.
I
Man.
just saw a video on those today. Pretty sharp looking.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah.
So,
what have you experienced so far that surprised you? Whether that's about yourself or just the hobby in general, or people's reactions to it. I mean, you can go there too.
One thing that surprised me was I want to be careful how I say this. When we amass so many animals, we can no longer provide proper care for them. And like just some of the stuff that gets put out there, I feel like we have to, as enthusiasts of reptiles, people who enjoy them, we should be careful what we present to the public, because most people don't like snakes, and so we want to make sure we're painting the right picture for people. And so when I hear about situations, and obviously I don't know everything that's involved in that person's life or why it went down the way it did, but I would hope that we would seek out help sooner when we are in a situation like that, which is something that I found is like the community seems to be very willing to help each other. So that's something that I found was unfortunate sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you get that everywhere. You know, it's unfortunate. I mean, you can't. There's no qualification process. You know, so everybody's free to start and fail. You know, however they choose. And
Sure.
you know, when they fail, I mean, a lot of times the snakes are taking a hit.
Yeah.
You know, and I've seen it. You know, you see it in this hobby. I've seen it with. I mean, everybody's seen it with dogs. You know,
Sure.
dog breeders and things like that. I mean, yeah, it's just. I think the best thing that you can do, like you said, is be intentional with what you present, and also be intentional with your care and your husbandry. And totally sounds like that's what you're doing. You're not trying to get out over your skis and stack, you know, get racks and racks of snakes. You know, you're thinking about the overhead, and I think that's great. I think that you're a great addition to this hobby. You know, and
Thanks, Ross.
I hope you guys stick to it, and I hope that you got some longevity this time. And so,
Yeah.
So speaking of that, what do you have any plans? Do you have a strategy? Is there a goal snake? Is there an end state that you envision when you clean your reptiles like I did, like I have?
There's certain so I primarily have ball pythons now. I have one snake that's coming that's branching out a little bit. I have certain morphs that I really enjoy. One of them is asphalt, and the super asphalts. Um, I really like. I have one yellow belly lace that's het pied. I really want to do some things with lace as well. And then the recessive that I really like is Krypton. So the het clown het cryptic combo. I personally think that the fact that it's a lilac with clown. I mean, everyone has a clown. Clown is so heavily worked.
Right.
You just now we're gonna make the Krypton version of everything, and so I think that's really cool. I think I'm leaning more towards trying to. I want to create what you would consider, or many would consider, like a pet level snake, but do it in such a way that it's not easily reproducible. Projects like the gray matter, the panda pied, or the urban camo. You know, those that unfortunately those due to the genetics involved, some of the offspring aren't as healthy. So I'm trying to steer away from that. So my idea is if I can make it supers. So I'm thinking like super asphalt, white lace, blackhead, GHI. Stack them that way, I really like the darker snakes, and so I don't foresee them being, you know, the $20,000 snakes because I didn't invest in those. I do have a few snakes, but the odds of hitting them are pretty low. And so yeah, I think I'm leaning towards more pets.
Okay.
That being said, I did invest more money than I originally intended, specifically.
Said every ball python breeder alive.
But I did so specifically because I knew that by the time this girl grows up, I need it to be more than, you know, pastel het desert ghost. You know, it needs to have more to it. And so I picked up some, you know, some better snakes. One of my favorite ones is a super orange dream leopard desert ghost het pied.
Oh yeah, I love that combo.
And so
I love leopard and OD, and desert ghost is, yeah, it's definitely becoming a massive favorite of mine.
Yeah, it's a striking look. And so we'll see. One of the things that I want to say I worry about, I guess, is not being able to rehome what I produce, right? And
Right.
so for that reason, I want to be very purposeful with what I put together, and I try to invest in the visual as much as I could, because I didn't want to make 50 normals that are double hets that if you're not a breeder, you're not interested, and even breeders aren't all that interested.
Right.
And so that was and so that's I think the challenge is many people feel in order to increase your odds of producing your dream snake, you need more numbers. Because I need to have 6 clutches aiming at that dream snake. And I don't know, I don't know if I could. That's just not my style. And so I tried to do
buying the
visuals.
visual is smart. And when I first got into this, I had some folks telling me, don't waste money on the visuals, just buy the hats. They're a lot cheaper. I'm like, that's like an extra step. That's extra snakes. I don't want to do that.
Right.
And I can buy the visuals, so I'm just going to buy the visuals.
Right.
So. Thanks, Mystic Mountain.
Yeah, let me think. Let me look at my snakes. Maybe something will pop into my head. Yeah. It's hard because I started very simple. I started with a pied. I bought a banana female. She's a banana, spot nose, and she het pied. And then I bought a GHI blackhead. The GHI blackhead's actually probably my favorite one. She's dark, she's beautiful, she's iridescent in the sun, and she's only those 2 combos. What's up, baby?
Daddy, Damien's bothering Melanie.
I'll be right there. Oh, jeez. Sorry about that.
You're good.
And so I found that it doesn't have to be a stacked snake for it to look good, and so a lot of times less is more. And so you want to combine the right genetics. And so I mentioned I like asphalt, so I bought a super asphalt pied, because that way when I pair him, I know that all his babies will have asphalt, and I'll probably keep the best one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so that's my plan as far as trying to stack. And then the way the current price are on snakes, it's made it tough not to buy everything when everything sounds like a good project, and so I've had to try to be very purposeful, or more purposeful with my purchases.
Daddy, go to the living room.
Okay, baby. Can you tell him? Damien, be good. Melanie, go to your room, baby.
So what do you think, folks? You like this guy? Sounds like he's got a pretty good head on his shoulders. Let me know what you think in the comments. So what I like about getting the new folks on, get to hear the stories as they're developing brand new to the hobby, and listen to how they're going to reach their goals. I think it's pretty cool. So we'll be doing this for a while, probably every other episode. We'll try to get a new breeder on. I know there's a number of people I've chatted with that wouldn't mind coming on the show. So if you're one of those people, just be patient. We got lists lined up here, so that's cool. I'm grateful that folks want to come and be on the show. Yeah, Mystic Morphs. Let's know how long you've been in the hobby. Revisit that real quick.
Yeah, about a year and a half. I got my first ball python about 10 years ago. I've kept a handful of different snakes, but I always went back to ball pythons. I like them. I like how chill, handleable they are. The personalities are nice. Before that, I had a boa, but I mentioned that I came from a fear of snakes.
Right.
And boas just look angry to me, and so the way their head's shaped,
so you went and got
they made me
something
nervous.
that made you afraid.
What's that?
You went and purchased something that made you afraid. You kept it in your house with you.
Yeah, and I mentioned I would get them on Craigslist. So this was a 6-foot boa, a 4-foot, and so she was a big girl, and unlike pythons, they don't have the heat pits, and so I'm of the opinion that if you touch them, they turn their head that direction because they're about to eat you. And
right.
So it was interesting. And so it was, yeah, I purchased and sold the boas pretty quickly.
Yeah, so Mystic Mountain, we run this on a couple different channels. So you may not see, if he's on a different channel, you won't see his comment until I put it up on the screen here. So that's why. But yeah, Rafi, what the heck? You have a story to tell me, but it's not new. So Rafi fell asleep again, or he forgot what day it was. So I have to start figuring out what kind of punishment I should give this guy. Make him send me a snake or something. I don't know. I don't want any more ball pythons. So, isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
All right. Mystic Mountain says, you're not new to reptile keeping or the hobby, just the breeding. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So speaking of breeding, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, I haven't had my first clutch yet. I'm pairing, I think, four snakes. Because last year I just paired my pied and she didn't go, and so I was kind of disappointed. So hoping to at least get a clutch this year. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Now, as far as the breeding goes, do you have what's your source of information? Are you in any Patreons? Do you have a mentor? Are you doing research on your own? What does that look like for you? Or do you have a group of friends that you rely on? You guys bounce ideas off each other.
Yeah, I did most of the research on my own, YouTube. I even went into ballpythons.net blog and read articles from 2006 or something. So I did a lot of my own research. I just recently joined the Leviathan Patreon, which has been pretty cool. If I have any questions, I just drop it in the chat and in the Instagram chat, and there's always someone willing to share some advice. There's a local breeder here who I pick her brain sometimes, but some of the advice she gives me is very old school, and so I just take it from wherever I can get it, and then I try to work it out. I find that there's more than one way to do things, and so I'm always happy to learn if there's another trick to something. But for the most part, the reason I went to the rack systems is they're so well designed for the care needs, if you will. They hold humidity really well. The heat's easy, and a really important thing for me is to try to keep them healthy, and so it's really easy to just spot clean. I only had to carry my 36 by 18 enclosure made of glass a few times when I was like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. Yeah.
Mystic Mountain wants to know what projects you're working.
Yeah.
I know we talked about this, but there's no harm in saying it again.
Yeah, no, not at all. So I have one project that I got into mostly trying to reproduce a snake my wife wanted. That was $1,000 at the time. It was a Confusion Krypton Black Pastel Luster. And I should have just bought her the snake. Because
you find out it's a lot more expensive to try to make it than just to buy it.
Right. So I ended up purchasing a Black Pastel Luster clown. And then I purchased the father to that snake, actually, a Confusion Krypton. And that girl ain't gonna be ready anytime soon. But so I really like the Kryptons. I like Pides, and I like Super Asphalt.
Nice.
So those are the big ones. I think if I had any. The other thing would be like a DG Clown and Hypo Clown. So trying to pair those two. But yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Red Cloud hit on the next topic I was going to bring up. Your reels, dude. You are funny.
Oh, thank you.
And they are good. They are really good. I am jealous. That's really good. I enjoyed the class that you did.
Oh,
You had the morphs on the chalkboard on the whiteboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Well, I was trying, and this is the funny part to me. Have you seen this guy that's teaching English using a whiteboard?
Is this how do you say?
He says, no, why would you? Yeah, that guy, right? So okay. I was trying to recreate that. I don't know if I did a great job. And that's why the commentary was, no, why would you think? You don't see how? And so my wife, however, said, I don't think everyone knows that guy. And I'm like, it's all right. It'll be funny anyway. But so I don't know if everyone picked up on that, but
I didn't make the connection, but I thought it was hilarious.
Thank you.
Yeah, it looks like you got a fan. Great personality. Really carries through. If I could read it, I would agree with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's I enjoy your reels actually. So
thank you.
You've got a story. I click on it. So
yeah. Well, that's the challenge. I don't have any clutches, so I'm trying not to just here's my snake, post a picture. Nothing against that. I enjoy looking at the pictures of snakes, but so if I'm gonna have to share something, I like to keep it a little entertaining if I can. But
well, they're definitely entertaining, and of course the veterinarian in the comments. Do you quarantine new animals coming in?
Yeah, I not as long as I'd like. And the reason for that is this is where I keep my snakes in this separate room. So when I quarantine, it's not for very long, maybe 30 days. But it's closer than I'd like. So it's still within the facility, but I feel like I should do that more. Thankfully, nothing's been sick, and I do a process to do a soak on the newcomers. I keep the new snake on paper to try to observe it, things like that. But yeah, that's one of my challenges. That's also one of the reasons why I haven't been bringing anything new in. Is one, I'm at capacity. That rack's full. I had originally intended to have the way I sold it to my wife was, it'll be great to have clean tubs, available, ready to go for the, just switch the snake to the clean tub, clean the new one. Now the rack's full. And so I have one other rack here, and then I have a hatchling rack that is empty. But yeah, that's one thing I need to do better on, is in quarantine them separately.
Yep. Doc says he can help with a quarantine protocol if you're interested.
Oh, absolutely. I'll reach out to him on Instagram or.
Yeah, well, I don't know what he's doing, but he can at least jump backstage here in a few minutes. I don't know. He is co-host on this podcast, so.
Yeah, I would really appreciate it. I mean, I'm a registered nurse by trade, so I'm not.
Okay, so you understand.
I understand the concept of it. It's mostly just space, but I'd be really happy to learn. Rodents. I buy frozen thawed. I have 26 snakes, 23 frozen thawed, and then I have 3 picky ones that I have to go buy rodents from my hookup over here. I have one that will only eat a live mouse, and then one female that's special picky. She only took, I think, 9 meals over the last year, and I finally figured out she likes light-furred rats. But she was raised on ASFs, and I don't know if this is right or not, but the larger smalls scared her, or at least she wasn't eating it. And so I had to get her a weaned rat, and then she just slammed on the little one. Yeah. And so now she eats light-furred weaned rats, and then my male, that Krypton confusion that I had to have, he goes off food completely during breeding season. So
yeah, that's exactly what mine does.
I just got him to take a mouse last week. Yeah. So that's what he's gonna be getting until. He's a really shy one too. He'll spend all day inside.
Oh, so your confusion?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have 2 confusion males, and they both do the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. They both they go on and off food. When they're on food, they are monsters. They will eat twice a week if I let them. When they're off food, forget it. They are not even coming close. Yeah. So, and then Doc shows up.
You made it.
So,
you really gonna make me do that?
You could have waited until backstage.
No, I don't do that kind of stuff. It just if I'm coming in, I'm just like like I'm a train wreck. So
it takes one to know one.
At least it was not like picking my nose or anything else, like thinking that I was going backstage.
No, I figured you fell asleep because you've been traveling and stuff. So
no, I'm sorry to interrupt. My flight got. I was in Louisiana, and that is a very small regional airport in Monroe, and it kept getting delayed, and then my brain with all that happened yesterday and
Yeah, you don't have to explain it.
No, it's just It was kind of, my brain was not working properly. It usually doesn't, but it was even worse
Yeah.
today. So
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that's like abnormal for your brain not to be working.
oh, the normal is my brain is abnormal. So
Yeah, so we were just getting ready to talk about confusions not eating, or we just started it. So
No.
yes, my male confusions act exactly like yours does.
Does it
When they're
really?
on food, they are monsters. They will crack the tub going after a rat. When they're off food, you can't, like, they won't even come out of their hides in their tubs. Like my one confusion male, his name's Carl. The only reason I know he's alive is because the ASFs disappear. So, but I mean, yeah, he goes off food. The other males, I would say they average twice a month, because especially during breeding season, when there's business going on in the rack, like everybody can smell it. So, the eating drops off for the males quite a bit, except for the Angolans. The Angolans, they eat no matter what. They'll eat while they're locked.
so
Yeah.
going to that conversation, I don't know if I had a theory like that the problem is not confusion itself, but like a couple of lines of confusion that people had bad eaters and they started reproducing like to get the looks, because I heard a lot of breeders that they do not have any issues with their line of acid or confusion.
Yeah.
The only male confusion I have I just sold the acid one. I had an acid and a confusion. The acid took a lot of time, like he was like not eating at all, and then he just like started eating. But this was when it was a hatchling, and then after that, like he ate nonstop, like, and he's 3 now. But the confusion, he is 3, and he's probably, default guess, 600 grams, and like not much size to him. Like he's like very skinny, and like I wouldn't breed him.
Yeah. See, my blackhead confusion fire male that I absolutely love, and I want him to be strong and breed. He's 1,000 grams, but he's thin. I would say he's probably my longest male, which is weird.
Mine's the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's 1,100 something. He can put up a little more weight when he's eating. Very long, like very big. But yeah, I don't know, he's just shy. I got him to take frozen thawed one time. Other than that, he wants live, and it's because he won't take it off the tongs. He wants me to just drop the rat in there and leave him alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Red Cloud says the same thing. His confusion animals, he's got 3, and they're all picky, shy eaters.
Hey, bud.
Get him.
Yeah.
Get him. Yeah. So yeah, my blackhead confusion fire guy, he ate just fine until he was like maybe a year, 600-700 grams, 800 grams maybe, and then he just like became a terrible eater.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with some, to be honest. I had a lot of different lines of thought, but in the end, some of the things, without science, I don't think we would need to have like necropsies of like some animals that pass away and just see if there's anything different. But have you ever tried to breed your confusion or no?
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a proven breeder. It came from designer ball pythons. I think he's in New York. He's a pastel confusion krypton. He's locked for me twice, but he goes off food, and so I just stopped pairing him because I didn't
But
feel he was really skinny.
He was going off food before or after you pair him, like from the get go. Like how did it go?
I think he was already not eating, and then I paired him, and he didn't he didn't eat again. And so I stopped pairing him. And then finally he took a mouse last week, which is odd because the breeder who I bought him from said he's only ever ate rats his whole life. But I had a live mouse, and so I threw it in there, and I was actually digging through the substrate a little bit because I couldn't believe he actually ate.
But how long was it fasting for?
4 months? Yeah. But it goes back to like January. So maybe he was gonna start eating because it's getting hot again anyway. I don't know. Maybe it's a coincidence.
Was he being bred before? Like, was he an active breeder, or he was a proven breeder, but he was not breeding for a long time? Because what happens sometimes is people buy adult animals, and the seller doesn't say, the breeder doesn't say, me, like, this animal was breeding for 6 months. You should give this animal a 3 month break because otherwise it's not gonna go back on food. I don't know if he was or not.
Yeah.
I just sold the animal that I sold. He was a acid hurricane phantom, and I sold a couple of adult females to him. And the customer asked, like, "Oh no, actually, I offer him. Do you want me to breed some of the females because some of them are developing follicles? I can start pairing. Like, I have a couple of males that you can use as well. I don't mind. Like, I had some of my males that I was not using for the season, so I was pairing for him." And then he asked me to pair this male with a female that he bought from me, and I said, I don't think we should do that because he needs a break.
Okay.
And he was eating, but when you're breeding an animal for like 4, 5, 6 months, it's eventually it's going to need a break.
Yeah, I've had this guy for I think over a year now. When I first got him, the breeder told me he had paired him a few times. I guess he wanted to get one last clutch out of him or something. And so then I purchased him, and so he sent him over. He didn't eat for 4 months. And then he finally started eating again. I didn't pair him because none of my females were up to size at that time last year. Now I paired him, but like I said, he only paired twice, and then I stopped because I think what I'm gonna do is when he is eating, he's gonna eat every week, so that he can put on some.
This is actually what I do. I try. There was a line of thought back in the day that fat males were too lazy. Like, I've never had that issue. I want to pack as much weight as I can on my males because if they go out of food, they have the reserve. That's what they do in nature. Like, they're going to try to get as much food as they can before the breeding season because they need energy, because they're not going to be able to keep up with food when they're thinking about other stuff, right, that are more important.
Right.
So I try to pack as much food. I would give sometimes more food to my males than the females. If the females are not developing, I feed them normal. And when I see that they're developing follicles and they're starting to ask for more food, like, there's like this nonstop, you keep throwing rats and mice and they keep like wanting it, that's when I pack food on them. But if the male wants to eat more, I don't see an issue of giving like more rodents to
food.
them. Yeah.
Nice.
You want reserve on that body.
No, I would agree with that.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I agree. I think that's what I'll do when he wants to eat. I'm just gonna feed him, so I won't have that same issue. I have one girl that I'm growing up. She's a black pastel phantom clown, and she is het-pied, and she proved het hypo through shed testing.
Great.
And so I want to put him to her and make some clowns and some kryptons, and I'll test for the hypo. So I need him to be ready to go.
Sweet. Well, Mystic Mountain's been waiting on this answer for a while. What other reptiles do you keep, or is it just ball pythons? I know you mentioned you had something on the way that you were branching out. Did you want to share that, or are you keeping that close to the chest?
No, so going back maybe a month or two, I caught this podcast before, and I asked Travis if he had Angolans, and so Angolan pythons just always piqued my interest. To me, they kind of look like they're super asphalts. They have that kind of pattern to them, and so I just think they look super cool. But I'm actually picking up a Royal Angolan hybrid. It's a het pied male that was listed on Morph Market for a while. So I'm really excited to bring him in, and then I think where I want to take that is I want to make as close to Angolan as I can pied, right? And so he would have to go either to an Angolan female or another F1 hybrid.
Yeah.
And then kind of hold back and then do it that way to try to the goal be I'm curious how that'll look.
Yeah,
then,
no, that's awesome. I absolutely love it. I have het pieds here that I've got a male and a female. So they take a while. I mean, they grow fast, but they don't mature as fast as ball pythons, I'm finding. Like my big girls, my two large Royal Angolan girls are well over 3,000 grams, but they're not ready. I mean, they're at 5 millimeters, and I put a male in there with them, and they coiled up tighter. They turned into ball pythons. They coiled up super tight and buried their heads and didn't want anything to do with them. The guy's all like, "Hey, what's up? What are you doing? Like, can we, can we chat a little bit?" Like, they're just not ready yet. I think maybe next year.
How old did you say they were?
So these guys are. Maybe go pull up my Husbandry Pro. I think that they are 2023s, October 2023 for my two big girls. So that's not bad. October 2026, we're looking at 3 years. So
3 years. Okay.
So they're actually not as old as I thought they were.
Yeah, that's one of the things that actually drew me to the Angolans was one, apparently they're not super common. And then I kind of like the idea that they take longer to mature.
Yeah, I like that
so
too.
It'll be like less of a quick buck for someone.
Yeah.
Currently, all I have is racks, but the reason I haven't purchased a pure Angolan is I want to do an enclosure for it.
Yeah,
you mentioned that it's always ready to come out, and so it's something that I want to see and give it a little bit more space if it moves around that much.
Yeah, they're very, very active snakes. I like them quite a bit. I have 8 Angolans and I have 4 Royal Angolans. And so actually they all 4, I know 2 are het pied. The other 2 might also be het pied. They have het pied markers. So I reached out to the guy that I got the other 2 from, the 2 older girls, one of which is also the Visual Banana. And I asked him, "Hey, is there pied in this?" And he goes, "Oh, there might be actually. I think the mom might have been het pied." He's like, "Yeah, so could be." And I'm pretty sure I can send the sheds in and get it tested. I just need to do it. I'm not in a rush. So yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. So let's keep in touch. I might have some visual pied Royal Angolans here that
really, man,
we can do some collaboration on.
That would be awesome.
Mountain, he has an Angolan as well. That's awesome. Every time somebody says they have an Angolan, I love it. Rafi hates them. Mystic Mountain says that.
Why are you talking about? The only reason why I don't have them is because you have them, and I don't like you. So no, to be completely honest, some species I would not put in a rack system, and
right.
I don't like boas and I'm not shitting on anybody that do or does. It's just like I don't see like retics, boas. I like to see like how they move and they climb, and
Yeah.
so if I would get one of those, I would have to get an enclosure.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've had some of mine in racks because I moved and everything and haven't built their enclosures, and they do not like it. And so I've been, this is an Angolan. I've got a Sanzinia here, Angolan down here, and then I've got a big 6 foot enclosure down here with my big breeding pair in it right now.
Wow.
And they use every bit of the enclosure. And I've got a big shelf in there. So they've got double the surface area to crawl around on, and they use the whole thing.
What's the size of your enclosure for a 4x2x2?
This one is a 6x2.
Oh, cool.
And then is
it even a 6x2x2 or is it shorter?
No, it's a 6x2x2. And these are the 2x2 cubed here. So
they only have one 6x2x2, and I have my 9-foot boa.
Yeah. No, she's this girl she's pushing 7 feet. So she's big.
Do you have perches in there?
Say that again?
Do you have perches in there?
Perches?
Yeah.
I have a rock shelf, if you will.
Oh,
so they're semi-arboreal, but they're like a D- in capability. Like they barely make the cut as being semi-arboreal.
They climb as good as a blood python?
They climb a little bit better than a blood python, but they're more like a rocky crag versus branch kind of snake. When you pick them up, they don't try to hang on to you. They expect you to do the work. And so like they just crawl around, and they're like, if you drop me, it's on you. It's like you're the one that's going to get hurt on that one, buddy. And speaking of Leviathan, hey friends, we know that's Steven. Thanks for coming by.
Hey,
Giving a
Steven.
shout out to Gio. Gio was telling us that he's in your Patreon. Sounds familiar. I think I might have been on that Patreon. That's where I got. That was the first Patreon that I got into, and it's good. It's great. There's a lot of good breeders in there, and I think Steve and Courtney do a fantastic job managing that Patreon. So thanks for stopping by, Steve. Appreciate it. Sergio does too. So so these big enclosures, perfect for the Angolans, and they're constantly moving.
What size do you use for your Angolans?
For the enclosure?
Yeah.
These are the dubias. So I ended up going with these because I have the ambient room temperature, which is perfect for their cooler side of things. And the shipping is just so cheap with these.
Oh, they have 6-footers with dubias too?
Yeah, they've got 6x3x3s also.
Are they stackable?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually have 2 more of the 6-foot enclosures that I still have to build. And then I have the 2 6x3x3s for the Bolins that I have to build also. I just got the stands for those finished. So those will go in the Bolins room, which is the cold room. So
buy me the ticket, and I'll go and I'll help you assemble them. Actually, I'm lying. I don't have time for crap, so I'll.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are you talking about?
Even if you pay for my time, and like I don't have any time to sell.
So, but yeah, you'll really like that snake. I personally think that the Royal Angolans are fantastic pet snakes. I really do. They're beautiful snakes for one, because you get all of that color from the ball python, but then you get the Angolan influence on the morph, right? And I think I showed you guys the banana before, right? The banana
it looks totally
hybrid
different.
Looks way different than the banana in the ball python. And so I want to breed that back into the Angolans and try to get as high percentage visual banana Angolan as I can, because I think that'll be like a lime green and yellow snake.
Yeah, because the base color of the Angolan is different than the base color of the ball python of a wild type. So I think that's why you have different shades when you have like the banana.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of purples and greens in the banana in the
I think
hybrid.
there was a 1.1 angle on auction at Mark Market right now.
Yeah, somebody sent that to me. They're like, "Hey, are you going to bid on these?" I'm like, "I already have 8."
But that's the issue when you want to do it right. Like you can't have too many, right? Like if you want to have them in enclosures, like you only
Right.
have
Space.
so much space.
Yeah,
Just like
and
the boa file, like if you look at his place is like enclosures like from back to back, and he has the shorter ones too. So it
no, not
saves
for
a
me.
little space.
I'm too
Yeah.
busy. I can't get away and do anything right now. Were you going, Todd? So yeah, I mean, they're fantastic snakes. I love them. They really do behavior wise. They take after the Angolan. They're very curious and very outgoing. At least the ones that I have. I mean, I have a small sample size, but I can tell you this: they always eat, and I think that they probably have a better feeding response than even the Angolans. I definitely think there's a lot of hybrid vigor there. I think they have a stronger constitution than both the Angolan and the ball python. And Bolins are really hardy snakes, but I wouldn't really call them tough. If that makes sense. Like I don't necessarily think they'd win a fight anywhere, but they would definitely be like, I can take the cold, I can take the dryness. You know, oh, you're desiccating over there. I'm doing just fine. So they're really good at surviving. But as far as like vigor, you know, they're just calm and curious. But the Royal Angolans, the hybrids, there is definitely vigor there,
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, I think
So
it'd be really cool to work that side. I told you I could see myself if I purchased a male Angolan who was willing, putting him to several of the other females that I'm raising up,
yeah,
just to see what we can do with that.
yeah.
I
I mean,
mentioned the pet level. I think if we're gonna keep them in captivity and it's meant to be a pet, I think it'd be great to try to create the perfect pet snake, right?
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I think as a pet snake, I mean, these guys are never going to fetch thousands of dollars, anything like that. You know, they're maybe a $400 to $800 snake, depending on the visual that you can work into it. You know, and maybe if then maybe that's a little higher for some people, but pet level, I mean, I think that they're they're so easy to take care of. They're a shoe in.
Right.
So yeah, that's
I
my
mean,
thought. What do you got, Shannon?
I like carpets too, but I would say the market for carpets, if you want to go for morphs, I think is very limited if you want to have a little bit of production, just because not everybody is prepared to have a carpet python. Size, like the feed response, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
So like some are very tame and some are not, especially when you have hatchlings, like to convince someone like a really bitey like hatchling, convince someone that is gonna calm down with your work, like people don't want that. Even ball pythons, people ask me something, and I'm honest, like if I have a spicy hatchling, I tell like this, it might never calm down. Like most of them, they, especially the strangers, oh my god, like my all of my strangers besides one, when they're hatchlings, they're gonna stride at my shadow. But that the Nialis were the same when they were like hatchlings. Now they calm down. But for somebody that wants a pet, So that's why I'm like, ball pythons are the perfect pet for like people that want like a smaller, like or not manageable size, not a smaller, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than a hog nose, that nothing against the hog noses, but I saw a video yesterday of one eating like a boiled egg, and it looked derpy as
Wait,
fuck.
what? Say that again. What did you see eating a boiled egg?
Somebody had like a boiled like egg like cut up, and the hog nose was just like
Oh, I saw that.
eating that boiled egg. I was like, okay. It was actually cool, but I don't know, the way it moves to me is just like there's something wrong. Like it looks like it has like some mental issues.
Oh, don't tell the Herp and Harbins that. They'll be upset. They just built
No,
a.
I mean people say stuff. I'm not saying that it's a bad snake. It's just to me, it's just like the I don't know.
No, I had a hog nose for maybe 6 months. I didn't like it. And it would hiss, and it was a fake strike. It wasn't actually trying to bite me, but the way I'm like, it's this big and it's making me flinch and hit my hand on my cage every time. And
I mean,
I
and to be honest, I mean, it's very cute. Like it's like the just the hog nose by itself is really cute. I mean, I can, but me as a breeder, like I can't. It's just
Yeah.
it's not for me. Like some people love anacondas. Like I I would never have an anaconda. And some people
maybe
hate ball
Weird because
pythons, and that's okay.
maybe it's a
I always
dwarf
wanted a hognose
anaconda.
snake when I was a kid, and I have no interest as an adult.
I mean, same thing. If you want to and if you want a ball python, and you're worried about that as a pet, and you're worried about that snake is not gonna eat eventually, don't get a ball python because it goes in cycles. Some would never stop eating, and some it will fast, and you have to calm down and just be patient. But um, people get very emotional because they want to see, like, they're used to dogs and cats sometimes, or they're used to colubrids and they get a ball
Yeah.
python. It's not for you if you're not willing to wait or work the quirks that ball pythons have, like change of environment, like trying to do new things. uh, and then people will try to be feeding like even like 3 times a day, just like trying to push and push. Like the more you push, the less successful you're going to be in feeding a ball python that is refusing to eat.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
Yeah.
I've been there, done that.
no,
I've
I
learned.
mean we
I've
all
learned.
we all done that. Like I remember in Brazil, like we would get imported ball pythons, and those things would never eat because we didn't even have the infrastructure that you guys had in here. Like we sometimes we could get like a heated rock that should the ones with the wire that you put inside. Like that's something that we would get. Like we didn't have heat pads, we didn't have rack systems, we didn't have the lamps. The most that we had was the mercury vapor lamps that we use for iguanas, but was not for that purpose. We find out that you could use, and there was not much information available, like other than books. Um, I mean, we didn't have internet in Brazil like until like 2015 or so. So, just kidding. No, but we didn't have
Yeah.
a lot of
I have
information.
no
I mean,
choice but to believe you, Rafi.
was not the focus. Brazil, like reptiles, was not the focus. Like big fish community in Brazil, like a lot of equipment will come imported.
Right.
Um, was not the focus of like pet stores to bring stuff for reptiles.
Right on. But Mystic Mountain says rubber boas are awesome pets too. I wouldn't know, but I live in Idaho, and they're native out here, so I would love to run into some. So that'd be cool. Well, hey folks, we're at an hour and a half. I think it's probably good for us to wrap up. Gio, it was great having you on the show. I'm super stoked that you're getting a hybrid. I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
Hybrid community grows every day. I'll have to bring you into the hybrid chat if you're not there already.
I'm not, but yeah, that'd be great.
So definitely do that. And everybody else that was in the chat, I appreciate you coming by and saying hello and giving Gio a little bit of support. Stephen from Leviathan, thanks for coming by and supporting your guy here. Much appreciated. Everybody else, until next time. Rafi, what is the outro? What do you say?
And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
See you on the next one.